Hello everybody, it's my 25th birthday, and to celebrate 25 years of not getting arrested, not getting killed, not being involved in a major car accident and not falling into the wrong crowd, I have decided to get myself a celebratory cigar. Never smoked a cigar before, but I hear they can be quite nice. Wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. Although, what do you expect for £4? Apparently this takes a while. Not lit yet. You can tell I've never done this before. Yeah, I think that's just about done. Not as nice as I was expecting. Well, anyway. Actually, this is pretty damn bad. So much for these tasting lovely. I don't know if this thing is still recording or not. I don't know how Winston Churchill loved this stuff. Maybe his brand was a bit nicer. I'm not getting anything at all out of this. Yeah. So much for a celebratory cigar. You know, I had everything planned out. I was going to sit here, I was going to smoke my cigar, and I was going to talk about my life. But I'm just so floored by how nasty this tastes that, yeah, it's not really working at all. Excuse me. Don't litter. Let's see, there's a proper clean. Yeah, don't litter and don't smoke cigars. Blech. Excuse me while I dispose of this. Anyway, back to the car. Now let's get this back up here. Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled programming. So, I was born on the 12th of August 1989, which was 25 years ago today. Well, it will be today by the time this gets uploaded. I'm actually recording it on the 11th. But anyway, I've been watching a lot of Ned Spodos' videos lately. You guys probably don't know him, but he's a fellow YouTuber who has Aspergers syndrome, and if you don't know what that is, it's an autistic spectrum disorder. The easiest way to explain it is it makes us think differently. It affects the way we interact with people, it affects how we socialise, and it basically affects everything in our lives because the way we think is different to the way that you normal folks think. Our entire lives are different to some degree. Sorry for the cars. I'm in the back of the cinema car park. Didn't expect anybody to come out this far. But anyway, I don't have a formal diagnosis. In my last year of primary school, which I was about 8 years old, the teacher of my class had studied child psychology at university, and she recognised in me Asperger's traits. So, she called my parents into the school and, she discussed it with them, and I visited a few child psychologists to talk to them about stuff. Of course, I had absolutely no idea what was going on at the time because nobody told me. It was just tripped somewhere to see a doctor and talk to him about my life. And when I got to secondary school, they actually had a dedicated special needs department, and from what I was told later on, my parents met with the special needs coordinator, a lovely woman named Mrs. Jones, to discuss me receiving support from them. Now, I must have been assessed, but I don't remember it, and from what my parents tell me, Mrs. Jones said that they could statement me, which would mean that I would be officially designated as being a special needs student, and I would receive full support from them, but she thought that because I was so high functioning that it would put me at a disadvantage, so my parents decided not to bother. Well, I did get some sort of informal support from them. I had learning support assistants in my classes, and I could go to the special needs department and talk to people, whenever I wanted. But this whole stuff about me being too high functioning, I think, is a little bit wishful thinking. I was always terrible at school. I never did well in my exams, and the only time I ever really succeeded in anything, after having scraped the bare minimum GCSEs to get into sixth form, I needed 5 C's and I got 5 C's. The rest of them were D's and E's. I did terribly at my A-levels. I had to repeat the first year because of how badly I did, and even in the end I still didn't get anything above a D. I went for an interview at a college to start one of their IT courses, and I asked for a member of the special needs department to be present at the interview, and I was just busy talking to the tutor about me, about what the course was like, and so on and so forth. And when I got to the point of mentioning that that I had Aspergers, or it was believed that I had Aspergers, the woman from the special needs department just said, "Yeah, I think you have. I can just tell from talking to you that you've got it." Uh, in the end, I didn't go to that college. I went to another one. I got some various qualifications that was supposed to make it easy for me to get a job in the IT industry, but that never really came to fruition. I tried to muddle through it on my own without support and so on, but in the last 4 years I've lost about 10 jobs. 10 jobs in 4 years because of the way I am and how people don't understand me. I don't play well with others. Is probably the easiest way of putting it. I don't fit in. People don't tend to like me very much. Whoop. And the longest job I had was for 18 months. And I got sacked because I was using too much internet, but because of the nature of the work, I was left just sitting around, waiting for things to finish so that I could move on to the next task. And because sometimes this sitting and waiting around took a long time, I kept myself amused by watching YouTube videos, doing social networking and stuff. But my boss didn't like it. But anyway, after that happened, I went to my GP and talked to her about it, saying that it's affecting my life to the point where I'm not really able to function as a regular person and contribute to society as one is expected to. She said that she'd refer my case to the psychologist and they'd get back to me. I got a letter a few weeks later, and basically the psychologist said that I wasn't serious enough to warrant a diagnosis and support from the NHS. And okay, fine, that's that. Tried, more jobs, failed at those as well, and then I just went to the doctor again and basically, look, I keep losing jobs. I can't keep hold of a job because of this, and I really need some help here, some sort of diagnosis or whatever. And she said, and basically I was told that because of the way that the NHS works, I mean, for those people, in America and whatnot who think that, free healthcare is freaking amazing, they have a finite amount of resources and they prioritise the most serious cases over others. And basically I was told it was because I was not serious enough and because they thought that I was too high functioning that I did not qualify for NHS support, which I think is bollocks, because if I was that high functioning, I would not have lost 10 jobs in 4 years. I'm still unemployed. Last time I had a job was March and April, and that lasted just over a month. And some things went down there. They wanted me to do stuff that I wasn't comfortable with doing. I mean, not because I didn't know how to do it, because it was violating terms of service of several websites, and I just flat out refused to do it after I found out that how bad it was. And they kind of used that and some other stuff as an excuse to get rid of me. And so again, I'm on job seekers allowance, searching for a job. The longest I've been out of work was 11 months. That was 11 months of me job hunting, going to interviews and what have you, and not getting anything. Now, I think the NHS has kind of just left me up a certain creek without a paddle, because if they won't support me, and hell, I asked my doctor to refer me to the Aspergers Society so that they could maybe, find some psychologist that I could pay to be assessed by, so that they could give me a diagnosis. I asked them to do it, and my GP said that that it would be taken care of. That was in January. It is now August. I've been in touch with them several times, saying, have you been in touch with them? Have they gotten back to you? What have you? And I've been told that nothing's happened yet. So I can't help but feel that I'm not really a priority to them. And even though I've been chasing them up about it, they're still not doing anything about it, and I think that's unacceptable. Even if the NHS, won't support me because of their finite amount of resources, they can still, all it takes is a letter or a phone call to the Aspergers Society to refer me, and that's it. I'm out of their hands. But no. I'm 25 years old. I've never been out on a date. Never had a girlfriend. I don't have any friends. The only friends I've got are online. If I want to visit my best friend, I have to buy a plane ticket to frigging Florida. That's how socially reclusive I am. I don't go out very often. I don't need to go shopping or what have you. I've tried though. I don't know. There's nothing interesting to do in my area. I tried the local camera club because I had a little interest in photography, and that just bored me to tears. My life isn't that great. I mean, it could be a lot worse. I mean, I've got a roof over my head. I'm still living with my parents. We're not poor, and I'm not being abused. I'm 25 years old. I don't think my mother should be telling me what time I go to bed. When I left school, I thought, I'd get a job, stay there for a few years, move on to another one with more pay, move out, get my own place, find a girlfriend, settle down. It's been 10 years since I left school. A decade. And I'm still in pretty much exactly the same position I was when I left. Really nothing has changed in my life at all. I think I'm starting to get depressed, because I'm very apathetic about a lot of stuff. I don't really care about my life anymore. And as you can see, I'm not exactly keeping up with grooming myself. I can go months without shaving because I just don't give a toss. And there are some nights when one little thing might just, make me feel so damn bad I don't know what to do with myself. Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes I just feel bad for no reason at all. And yeah, I usually just sit there wallowing in self-pity for a while until I have to go to bed, and then once I sleep it off, everything's fine. Now, in case any of you are worried, I'm not the type to contemplate suicide. I haven't even seen the latest series of Game of Thrones. I can't kill myself without seeing that. But yeah, I know I need to go to the doctor, and talk to them about it. But I'm just so apathetic that it's almost, I want my life to get better, but I don't know if I care enough to do it. So I'm not doing the things that I should do. I should go to the doctor and talk about my depression, but I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with being British. We're taught as a culture, stiff upper lip and soldier on. If you've got a problem, you deal with it yourself. You don't go whining to somebody else. And we look at America, who's very open about their emotions and the problems that result from them. And no offence, but for the most part, we look at you guys and think that, you can't get through a day without popping a pill or crying on a psychologist's couch. You're a bunch of oversensitive hypochondriacs. And that's one of the reasons why the British don't really care for the Americans. We're very reserved as a culture, as a society, and you're kind of the opposite of that. And undiagnosed depression is a big problem in Britain, because everybody is taught, stiff upper lip, soldier on, deal with your problems yourself. They just bottle everything up and they don't seek help, because it's almost like we think we're a failure if we have to ask for help. And that's one of the reasons why I've not really pursued going to the doctor and talking about it. And also because of my experience with trying to get them to refer me to the damn psychologist or the Aspergers Society, with them dragging their feet over it, I'm not so sure they're going to do anything about my depression. If I have got depression, that is. Now, considering how long I sleep and still feel tired, that's one of the classic symptoms of it, but yeah. There's not a lot in my life that I enjoy doing anymore. When I was, in my early teens, video games were my life. Before that, before we had video games and whatnot, television and toys were my life. And then that got superseded by video games when we got our first consoles, and then moved on into my teenage years. And I'd come home, do my homework straight on the console. PlayStation, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 2, whatever. And then when we got broadband internet, the internet slowly became the major thing in my life. And then, I got my own laptop after I finished my GCSEs, and that became more the major thing in my life. And these days, for the last few years, I don't play video games anywhere near like I used to. On my PC, I will play them a fair amount because I'm always on my computer. But my consoles, I used to play them every day, and now they don't get turned on for months. And it's like, I guess you could say that I've got an addictive personality. I was addicted to video games as a teenager. I'm addicted to the internet now, and it's the only kind of social interaction I have, talking to people online, and social media forums, Tumblr, instant messaging, Skype calls and the like. That's the only kind of social interaction I have anymore. Even when I was working, I'm not that social. I'm kind of a bit of a recluse. It's been complained that that I'm not very sociable at work in the past. You know, I want to leave on time because that's just the way I am. I mean, if I'm contracted from 9 till 5:30, I'm going to finish my work and I'm going to be out the door at 5:30. Though when I worked at one of my previous jobs, the one that I had for 18 months, because I enjoyed that more, and it was one of those things where it could take a while to do some tasks. Most of the time I was still there at 6 p.m. even though I was supposed to be, finished at 5:30, and then my boss would complain if I was 2 minutes late in the morning, even though I worked through my lunch and was usually still there at 6 o'clock every day. Other jobs complained that I would just leave as soon as, as soon as 5:30 or 5 o'clock rolled around, and they wanted someone who was a bit more enthusiastic. But I'm not going to work extra time for free unless I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I just can't do that. And even on the rare occasion that it was offered, hey, we're going to go out to the pub or go out for a meal or something after work, do you want to come with us? I'd usually just say no, because I don't like really interacting with people. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not a very sociable person, and it's been to my detriment, because I was never very popular at school, and because I wasn't popular at school I didn't develop a social life, and because I didn't develop a social life, I haven't been out for a drink since... oh, blimey. Since I was 17? Of course, I'm 25 now. I mean, there's no skin off my nose. I didn't particularly enjoy going out. It was just to, put the effort in, and I just wanted to go home the whole time. Whenever if I'm invited out to a party or out for a drink or whatever, I spend most of the time sitting there feeling awkward and wanting to go home. But that's the Aspergers. I don't even know how long I've been sitting here talking. I could have been talking for an hour. No, well, not an hour. No. Whatever. I'll work it out when I come to edit the video, and I'll cut it down to a reasonable size. But yeah. Even online, I have problems interacting with people. I'll say stuff or do stuff that it weirds them out or makes them think I'm weird, and they'll either straight up tell me I don't like that, stop doing it, or they'll just block me. But for the most part, I don't know what it is that I've done that's caused people to be upset, and as Ned Spodos would agree, that's an Aspie thing. People often get upset, angry or frustrated at what we do, but we have no idea what we're doing wrong unless someone tells us. And something that we might think is perfectly acceptable, something if someone did to us, we would have no problem with it whatsoever, they can be up in arms about. And a lot of people don't get my sense of humour, but it's just one of those things. I find it funny. I find it hilarious, some of the things I come up with, but a lot of the time it just goes right over people's heads. or they think is weird and creepy or whatever. A lot of the stuff that Spudder said in his videos that I've been watching, I've been going through all of them. I mean, I'm at like September 2012 now for his video archive, going back from the most recent ones, and a lot of it I relate to. You know, I'll sit there and think, yeah, that happens to me. Yeah, I've done that. And yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if I'm ever gonna, succeed at life like normal people do. I mean, my younger brother, he's 2 years younger than me. He's been in a long-term relationship for several years, and that makes me feel a little bitter at times. My younger brother is doing better at life than I am. He's been to university, he's graduating now, and I'm still sitting here, unaccomplished. By the time my parents were my age, they were married, and they'd bought their first house. I mean, granted, that was in the 1980s, houses were a lot cheaper back then, but still, comparing myself to my brother and my parents, it makes me feel quite unaccomplished, and makes me wonder if I'll ever, get to that stage in life. And I don't exactly make it easy on myself. I don't go out anywhere. I don't, be social with people. I mean, the only friends I've got, the closest friend that I've got, is in Scandinavia, all the way over across the North Sea. I don't have any friends in the UK anymore, and the only people who have ever been romantically interested in me are on the other side of the world. Sorry, there's just some people here and I don't want to be talking about my shitty life while they're around. It's hard sometimes to look at other people my age and see what they've done with their lives, relationships, successful careers, money, homes, marriages, children. I mean, I know everybody's different, and people say that your time will come eventually, but I don't know. I still imagine myself, 10 years down the line, still unemployed, still single, still living with a mother who treats me like a child at times, still a virgin. But, as of right now, looking at my life, how unsuccessful it's been, and thinking about possible ways that I can improve it, that eventuality seems the most likely to me. Still being in the same situation 10 years from now, as I was 10 years ago. Guy looks like Justin Bieber. I fucking hate that twat. He's a jumped up arrogant little shit. And huzzah to Orlando Bloom for thumping him in the face. I'd like to buy you a drink sometime, sir. Shake your hand. Preferably the one that smacked him. I don't know. I had so many plans in my life. I thought by the time I was 25 I would have a decent job, money, my own place, a girlfriend, but I guess it's just not to be, at least for now. Well, I should be getting home. My mother will be home from work soon, and she'd be wondering where I am. Anyway, I hope I didn't bore you with my reflections and reminiscings and ramblings and rantings and stuff. I'll try to post this as a video response to one of Ned Spodis' videos, because I quite like his stuff, and yeah, it'd be nice if you could have a watch of mine as well. Anyway, be seeing you.